Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Did You Know episode. This one is going to be featuring Bard, but let us not waste any more time and go right into his abilities. The chimes that Bard collects offer these bonuses specifically. Per chime collected, it gives him bonus movement speed for 7 seconds out of combat, which can stack up to 5 times. He gets 20 plus 1 per minute after 5 minutes of experience and 12% maximum mana regeneration, while of course also slowly upgrading his meeps. These chimes also tend to spawn closer to the area where Bard is currently at and will not spawn in bases nor the enemy jungle for the first 5 minutes. On Summoner's Rift, the chimes spawn every 50 seconds and only Bard can see the chimes on the minimap, and they turn red if there's only 1 minute of the 10 minutes left on the chime before it disappears. The missile speed of Bard's Q is 1500 when compared to something like Morgana's Q being only 1200. Spell Shield will block Bard's Q ability entirely while also blocking the meep bonus magic damage portion of the auto attack but not the auto attack itself, and Bard's ultimate as well, as long as you are not the ally with Bard. You can windwall Bard's Q, and the cool thing is you can even windwall just the second part of Bard's Q after it hits the first target, thus preventing the stun, and Braum is also able to shield the Q. The Q from Bard will also work with champion-made terrain such as Anivia's W or Jarvan's ultimate. Bard can only have 3 shrines from his W active at a time, however he can still use the 4th one to instantly heal a target without destroying the other 3. Whenever you place a shrine at a certain area, did you know that it gives vision of that area very briefly? Leveling up his W while you already have shrines in place somewhere on the map will also upgrade those shrines as well. Though not offering any combat stats whatsoever, such as a damage buff, a heal, or something of the sort, Bard's Journey will still grant him an assist on kills. You are still targetable while mid-journey by abilities and you can still die, do not forget this. You also get full vision of any enemies that take your journey even when you have absolutely no vision, wards, or anything on them. Compared to the many things that you can use Bard's ultimate on, such as towers, you cannot use it on invulnerable towers, in this example the inhibitor towers, and you can also never use it on enemy inhibitors. Alright guys, let's go into some cool facts and lore about Bard. Did you know that Bard was designed by Rabbit Llama, an old school rioter that switched to the design team from the engineering team, and that Bard is his first champion but was created alongside Loping Cinder, the narrative writer, and Skizix, who was the concept artist. Originally Bard, based on his name as well, was supposed to be a musical champion, though he later had his theme switched to a cosmic being instead. Though even with this being said, he still looks much like a musical champion with his looks, the flute, and only having musical sounds as his voiceover. Prior to release, Bard's symbols were scattered across Summoner's Rift that players could find as a teaser. Bard was designed to have a kid focused on roaming as a support champion due to his passive and his journey ability, and also being relatable to his lore. He was also the very first champion to be released in the year 2015. Potentially coincidental, Rek'Sai's teaser was named the Terror Beneath, while Bard's is named the Wonder Above, and both can create a type of portal and objects that players can stand on to destroy. Bard, along with Nasus, Veigar, Sion, and Thresh, can theoretically increase his stats infinitely with his chimes. Bard is also the first champion to be able to affect Baron or Dragon in such a way of putting them in a stasis. The Bard trailer was done by Studio MIR, who animated the popular show Legend of Korra and also The Road to the Cup. Let's talk about Bard's lore, as he is a very interesting and mysterious being. It briefly mentions how Bard travels through realms beyond the imagination of mortal beings, and when the unknowable structure of the universe is threatened, Bard steers all existence away from utter annihilation. The form we see Bard in is not his true form due to being a celestial being, but it is the only way he can interact with the physical world. When Bard dies on Summoner's Rift, you see the spirit from his makeshift body leave, and though he is not omnipotent, as a spirit he can be banished, powerful magics could potentially imprison him. His purpose is to protect history and the future by keeping balance within the world, only acting when larger dangers of cosmic significance threatens Runeterra, as he can easily travel between dimensions. He will rarely intervene to save a person unless it has something to do with the greater future, such as your descendants playing an important part in the future. Also, the green ball we see from the cinematic and in the game as well is his horn, and it's a harmonic key that splits layers of reality and taps directly into the magical fiction that all worlds emit. And finally, the way Bard speaks through various sounds we hear in the game only sounds that way because ordinary beings or beings not worthy cannot understand what Bard has to say due to it risking the future. They are simply just not meant to understand him. The cinematic of Bard displays him acting on what was just mentioned, how the Elder was tasked with bringing the orb up to the shrine on top of the mountain, but ended up failing in using its power, slicing a mountain in half, and thus Bard had to intervene to prevent further damage. From this, Bard took away the powerful artifact from the mortal's hands and saved the village with a child being brought out who is now actually the old storyteller from the Wanderer above. Some suspect the artifact is linked to Ao Shin, a powerful storm dragon whom Bard may or may not have prevented from being summoned. Also, Bard was witness to Xerath's ascension and dominance of Shurima, or Lyssandra's frozen watchers wreaking havoc, though he did not care to intervene as the events probably do not have a major negative impact on the future. And those little things following him are called meeps, which are attracted to Bard's energy though being separate entities and have traveled with Bard for a very long time. Bard is the second to not have any words in a voiceover, with Rek'Sai being the first. Bard has differences in his lines played based on how many meeps he has spawned, and it is entirely controlled based on that. His voiceover uses 4 parts of instruments being alpenhorn, Egyptian flutes, verbed out piano tone clusters, and a synthesizer called Zebra. Bard's appearance could also be inspired by the Kodama, spirits in Japanese folklore that inhabit trees, also inspiring Bard's meeps. An Elderwood Bard may have some inspiration come from the beast from Over the Garden. But that unfortunately is it for this episode of the Did You Know series featuring Bard. If you guys did enjoy it, please definitely throw in a like, it helps me quite a bit. Share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, and check out my other videos. But I truly want to thank each and every one of you for being here and watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you for the next video. Peace.